play and call it work.
Hey everybody, Matthew and Steve here from MiniWarGaming.com, and welcome to this battle report for Armageddon, Shadow War Armageddon. So, yes, I'm so excited for this. I'm super excited for this. As you probably know by now, today is the pre-order date for Shadow War Armageddon. If you're not sure what it is, well, this video is basically going to show that to you. And if you know what Necromunda is, it's essentially Necromunda. It's been updated slightly, but most of the rules are the same as Necromunda. The campaign system has changed the most out of all of it. And instead of gang wars in Necromunda, because Necromunda is actually the name of the hive city that the game was based in, and this one is Armageddon, so it's based in, is the world Armageddon?
I think it's the Armageddon system.
Yeah, I think so. And there's a hive city that, but there might, I didn't read all the
positive.
We haven't read all the narrative yet. We just kind of jumped to the rules and started playing, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It's so good.
And instead of gangs, instead of human gangs or mutated gangs or whatever, it actually incorporates all the different forces of 40k. The book itself comes with the rules for Blood Angels. Actually, sorry, Space Marines, not just Blood Angels. It depicts Blood Angels and Orks on here, but they actually have rules for a bunch of different Space Marine chapters in there. And Orks and Astra Militarum. And the cool thing is you can play the Astra Militarum as Catachan, Cadians, or Steel Legion.
Really cool.
And they have slightly different skill trees for that. And the Orks has all their clans, which have different skill trees. And then for the Space Marines, they have a few different chapters which change their skill trees. And Space Wolves play slightly different as well, just because of the way Space Wolves and Scouts work. Because the Space Marines is basically Scouts. There are ways to bring in Power Armor and Terminator Armor, but those are special operatives that you won't really be able to add permanently to your team. So this game is best played as a campaign, but you can totally do it one-off. We're going to do a one-off game here. We're not going to be doing a campaign yet. We will definitely be covering the campaigns. Games Workshop has said that they will be publishing the rules for all of the other armies, like Genes to the Cult and Eldar and Necrons and Tau, on their website for free. So you'll be able to basically, if you own those armies, you probably have all the models you already need. So that is definitely an advantage. And if you have like the old gangs from Necromunda, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be too hard to modify their rules to fit, because for the most part, the point system is the same as before. So we're going to look into that as well, because I know we have certain people here who have played the older Necromunda and even have gangs. So we might try to fit those into our campaigns as well. So we're going to be doing a battle report right here. And then in the vault, I'm not quite sure at this point yet, just because we're doing this right now, we might have another battle report, or we might actually have some reviews on it as well. But we're definitely going to be covering Armageddon over the following week and the following next little while as well. So today we're going to be playing Space Marines versus Orks. Steve's volunteered to play the Orks, and I'm going to be playing Salamanders, as you will see. We've already built our kill teams, which I'll show you in just a second. And we're just going to jump into it. We'll explain it as we go along, so you can see how the game kind of works. But it's a lot of fun. Go check it out. Go pre-order it from your local gaming store or wherever it is you buy your Games Workshop stuff. And let's have some fun. Start off with my kill team. Essentially, you have 1,000 points to spend, but the points are nothing like 40k. They're their own set of points. The regular kill teams for Astra Militarum and Space Marines are 3 to 10 models, whereas Orks can be 3 to 20 models. And they actually want to make sure they have more guys because they have special rules that give them bonus leadership when they outnumber their opponent. But this is my Space Marine team. Now, Space Marines have They Shall Know No Fear, which makes them immune to fear and terror, and also allows them, as you're going to find out later, as soon as you're hit, you are pinned. You get knocked down. And you basically lose a turn when you're that way, but Space Marines get to try to escape it at the beginning of their turn by passing an initiative test. Every other army needs to actually have a buddy nearby in order for that to be the case. Every kill team has a leader, very important aspect. We've got mine right here. This is a Scout Sergeant. I gave him a sniper rifle with a red dot laser and also a camo cloak or camo gear. These, basically everything you know about 40k, pretty much throw out the window. This is 2nd edition 40k, essentially. They did not really change the Necromunda rules here, which is awesome. I'm really excited about that. So to give you an idea, the red dot laser thing gives me a +1 to hit. The camo gear makes anybody who shoots at them gets -4 to their maximum range. So it doesn't make them harder to hit on the modifier, it just makes it so that weapons have a lower range against him. And that -4 inches is a pretty big deal. And then I've got 4 regular scouts with bolters, no other upgrades. They just have scout armor and their combat blades. And then I have 2 initiates or novitiate scouts, which are actually ballistic skill 3, and they just have shotguns. And in the campaign, the novitiates can eventually become regular scouts if they survive 3 missions. They don't get knocked out of action. So they're cheaper option that allow you to bring more of them, and so I just threw in a couple there with their shotguns. I could have also brought a scout gunner, and he'd have access to more of the heavy weapons, but they're really expensive, so it's hard to start them off that way. Throughout a campaign, you get to add more and more to your kill team to upgrade them, but you can also lose guys, or guys can get permanently injured, but they can also permanently upgrade their stats and gain skills throughout it all. What you're seeing today is just going to be the basic 1,000-point team without any upgrades.
So the 1,000 points I spent on orcs, I bought my orc knob. Spent a lot of points on the power claw, heavy armor, and a slugga. We also bought a spanner, who is just carrying a very expensive big shooter.
Big shooters are awesome, though.
Yeah. You'll see how well they fire, actually. And we got 2 boys with sluggas and choppas. It's the only boys I brought, and then I bought a mass of youths with shooters. They're very, very cheap. I think it's like 3 youths per 1 spanner. Or actually, no, it's 4.
Well, it's 30 points a youth and 60 points a boy.
No, sorry, but in points cost in relation to how this goes right now, 4 of these youths cost still a little bit cheaper than the spanner with the big shooter.
Oh, yes. And you might wonder why you wouldn't just spam tons of youths. And the fact of the matter is, you should actually bring lots of them. Yep. But they do start with a lower weapon skill. So they gain that, though.
And only 1 attack.
Oh, and a lower attack. They have 1 attack instead of 2, which is a big difference in this, as you're going to see.
Weaker, yeah.
Yeah, so they are very weaker, but as soon as they survive 3 missions, they become boys. So it's a very efficient way in a campaign to be able to start off and slowly build them up. But for the first few games, as you have them all, you're going to be much weaker than your opponent. But orcs have mob rule, so they all have leadership 7, including the boss knob. But if they outnumber their opponent on any point in the game, then they get +1 leadership. And if at any point they double the number of models of their opponent, then they get +2 leadership. Now, any models that are down do not count towards that, as you are going to understand what that means later on. So lots of fun with them. And they also get +1 when they charge. Normally you get +1 when you charge, but orcs get an additional +1 when they charge. So they are very, very good at close combat. We're going to be playing Kill Team Fight. Now, they suggest you play in a 4x4 table or smaller. I've set up a 6x4, but we're just going to be playing essentially right here. And because I actually like a little smaller than 4x4, they suggest 8-inch deployment zones, and we're going to make that 12. Yeah. So it essentially knocks 8 inches off the table, but you still have access to that 8 inches, so the terrain is still there. Like, technically, we're not going to say that over there is off limits. You just won't see us end up over there because it's so far away. And that way we can start a little closer to each other and get to the action a lot faster. 4x4 is perfectly fine, but obviously if you bring a lot of long-range weaponry, then it's going to give a huge benefit to the person with that. There are other missions, of course, ones that you have to grab objectives that'll force you more to the middle of the board. And even other ones where one player plays sentries and is not even aware of their opponent until they actually become aware and you gain more control over them. Lots of cool ones. We're going to start with the basic scenario, though. The goal of this scenario is to make your opponent bottle out. Bottling, if you watch this with Gorka Morka, it works exactly the same. As soon as you take at least 25% casualties, so either they're down or out. So if a guy is down, so there's pinned, they'll be faced up if they're pinned, face down if they're down. Now when they're down, they don't count towards the total numbers of models that you have, and that includes for him checking for mob rule, that my down models still count for his mob rules, but his don't. And so, for example, if 2 guys were down, I'd have to start taking bottle tests at the beginning of each of my turns because I've lost at least 25% of my list of my army. And a bottle test is just at the beginning of your turn. If you have at least 25% are down or out, then you take a leadership test on your leader, and if he's not available or if he's the one that's down, then you take it on your highest leadership. And if you pass it, you're fine. If not, the game is immediately over and you lose. You can also choose to voluntarily fail a bottle test and lose the game. If you're playing a campaign, that'll actually happen more often than you think. You might think, well, why would I want to lose? But often in the missions, losing does not really set you back too much, because essentially you gain Prometheum caches. The loser or a draw, you get 1, and the winner gets D3. So it's quite obvious, it's quite potential that you get the same amount as the winner anyways. And there are other objectives in the missions to get more Prometheum as well. And in the case of this one, if you manage to actually get 3 of your opponent's miniatures out of action, that's like they're off the board, you get a bonus Prometheum. But we're not playing the campaign, so that'll just be more like a little morale boost to whoever gets to do that. So just the first person to bottle out loses. And honestly, I'm not sure how long this will take. It could be a fast game, or it might take longer.
I'll beat him fast.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll just see what happens. And so now we're going to roll off, and the person who rolls lowest chooses their deployment and deploys, and then we roll again, and the person who wins that roll gets first turn. So let's roll to see who deploys first. I got a 1, you got a 4, so I choose my side, and I deploy first. I'm going to choose this side. I deployed my sniper sergeant out here in nice cover, and this will be full cover. If you're more than half covered, as in relation to whoever shoots at you, it's full cover. And if you're partly covered by anything, then it's partial cover. And unlike 40K, as it is right now, unless you're watching this later on, this has ballistic skill modifiers. So -1 if you're in partial cover, and -2 if you're in full cover. So there's no cover saves. You always get your armor save, and you get the benefit of cover, which I absolutely like. And apparently, as the rumors are, 8th edition is going to be doing that as well. Actually, sorry, that's not a rumor. Games Workshop announced that.
They said that.
Yeah, they're going to be having ballistic skill modifiers. So a lot of this will kind of leak into that as well, so it's pretty cool. So I got a novitiate here with the shotgun. We got a bolter, novitiate, shotgun, bolter, and then another bolter, and then another bolter guy hiding down there. Steve then had to deploy on the opposite side. And so he's got big shoot a spanner, and he's got 3 youths in front of him. You have to fire at the nearest target, unless there's a target that is easier to hit. So he's basically making it so I can't hit that guy. But at the same time, if a guy goes down or out of action, everybody within 2 inches has to take a break test. So there's both benefits and disadvantages to that. On top of that, if I pin somebody, if somebody else is within 2 inches of them, then they can try to get away from pinning at the beginning of their turn rather than the end of their turn. So this is good and it's bad, but I think it'll be more good than bad for Steve. And then he's got his knob down here with a couple boys. We got 3 youths right here, and that is it. So you got them all clumped together to kind of help each other with their pinning test. I don't have to worry about that as much, because They Shall Know No Fear lets me get away from pinning at the beginning of my turn, regardless of whether there's any buddies nearby to help. So now that we're all deployed, we're going to roll to see who goes first. Higher goes first. 4 and 6.
Ooh, we'll take it.
Orks. Well, you have to.
Oh, yeah?
It doesn't say it chooses who goes first.
Sure.
It just says the higher roll goes first.
I will graciously take it.
You'll graciously take it. Orks, turn 1.
Starting off with my 2 boys and my knob, I'm going to do some running.
So everything has a movement value. The Orks all have a movement of 4, and the Scouts have a movement of 5. And when you're in your movement phase, you can choose to run. So you don't run in your shooting phase, and when you run, you move double your movement. You can also choose to charge, and you also move double your movement. Everything is allowed to be pre-measured. And since he ran, we're going to put a run token, it looks like a little fast-forward thing, on this group. Now, they're not actually a group, but we're just simplifying it. And I'll have a -1 to hit them because they ran. Not that I'll be able to hit them because I can't see them.
So my first boy here is going to run down the ladder.
You also can't just go up and down walls. You definitely can't go up if they're more than 2 inches. And if you want to go down, you got to actually fall down them and take damage. But that's why we have ladders everywhere. So you just traverse ladders as usual.
And the next 2 are going to walk up to the edge. And the first guy ran down to help up anybody who trips or falls off the edge.
Oh, if they fall off the edge, then he can help them unpin?
Because we know they're going to fall off the edge.
Yeah, most likely. That happens a lot, as you will see.
All the boys up here, we're going to go close to this ledge and hope that if we fall off, somebody's down there to help everybody up. If we fall off.
I like how you're just planning for the fact that you will fall off.
Well, we're Orks. We're not very nimble, right?
No, initiative 2 definitely does not help.
This first youth is going to go ahead and fire into the closest scout. It's initiate, right?
This is an initiate, yeah, a novitiate.
Novitiate.
So the way this works is, first off, the ballistic skill works the same way 40k does. He has a ballistic skill of 2, so he hits on a 5. But there are modifiers. For example, partial cover gives him a -1, so he hits on 6s. In this case, that's the only modifier that we're going to be dealing with. There's things like the running is -1. If you're on Overwatch, it's -1. There's also each gun has a short and a long range band. And in the case of a Shuda, it's 0 to 12 and 12 to 24. There are some modifiers, both positive and negative, with each gun. For example, a Shuda gets +1 if you're within 12 inches, and then no modifier at greater ranges. And so in this case, he has to hit on a 6. Now, your Shuda also has a sustained fire special rule. Would you like to use that?
I absolutely would.
So it means he gets to fire D 3 times instead of 1.
Just 1.
So that's just 1 shot. But he still has to fire them 1 at a time because he can target the main target, but then subsequent shots can target anybody within 4 inches. But he could run out of ammo. So let's see if you hit. You roll on a 6.
Shot. No.
You miss. And if you do get a 6, then he would get his hit, but you also have to take an ammo check, which if you fail, you can't fire the weapon for the rest of the game.
Next, you've over to go try to hit that same novitiate.
Novitiate. And same modifier, so 6 to hit.
Stay fire.
Oh, it's the same fire, so
Yeah,
3 shots.
3 shots. I wish.
And then the first shot.
I just switched that for the one.
Yeah,
hit.
I know, right? You could have just said that. So miss, and a hit.
We got a hit.
We're doing these one at a time because if he had rolled a 6 right away, he could run out of ammo and he can't fire them again. Whenever you hit, you automatically pin the target. The pinning, I just lie him on his back, and he essentially loses his next turn, except because he's a Space Marine or because he's within 2 inches of another guy, I can try to get him up at the beginning of my turn, but otherwise it would be the end of my turn. So even if he does no damage to me, hitting a target is actually a pretty big deal. And now you have an ammo check. Your shoot is a 5+ ammo, and you roll 2 dice. You have to equal that or beat it, otherwise you can't fire again. So you made that. Now he rolls to see if he wounds me. This is the same as regular 40k, strength 4 versus toughness 4, so a 4 is a wound. There's no armor save modifiers to a shooter, so I get my full 4+ armor. We're good. Now, we did forget one thing though. Because I was pinned or went down right within an inch of a ledge, I have to do an initiative test or I fall off of this ledge, which would hurt a big time. Initiative 4. We're fine.
So moving on to the boy in the middle here, because this guy has nobody in range.
Youth is a youth.
Yeah, that's a youth. We're going to try to knock over the friend scout over there.
Normally you have to target the nearest thing unless there's something easier to hit, but you can ignore downed models. But as soon as I said that, I realized that this guy's not downed, he's only pinned. And so you can only ignore guys who are downed or who are in hand-to-hand unless there's another target that's easier to hit. So you actually have to still fire at him because he's your easiest target. Everybody else is in full cover, or in his case, further away. Sustained fire?
Yes, sir.
So D3
Always.
shots. So 2 shots, 1 at a time, 6 is to hit, nothing, and a hit.
Okay, so...
Oh, you haven't rolled a 1 yet. We want to show what happens when it's straight shots.
I know, I'm actually worried about that.
Yeah, so
let's do ammo.
Ammo check, 5+, you're good.
Good.
And hold on, I'm already pinned, so I don't have to do that again.
Right, you have to take another initiative test?
No, because I already am pinned. I already
That's
went.
true. So we're wounded on a 4.
And it's a wound. 4+ armor. Oh, I fail it. So now I'm not necessarily dead. I roll on the injury table. So I roll a single d6. On a 1, it's a flesh wound, which gives me -1 weapon skill, ballistic skill for the rest of the game. On a 6, he's just out. I take him out of the game, and then if we're in a campaign, we'd roll serious injury at the end of the game. And on a 2 to a 5, he's down. Rolled a 4, so he is down. So to represent down, we flip him over. And he can't do anything except move 2 inches per turn, just as he's trying to crawl to safety. And at the end of each of my turns, I roll on the injury table again. And if I roll a 1, he gets to be pinned. If he's 6, he's out. A 2 to a 5, he just continues being downed. But he essentially no longer counts for my total number of models, except for your mob rule. It only says that you ignore your own downed models. It just says you look at the number of models on the battlefield for me. But for me taking bottle tests, he only has to down 1 more guy for me to have to start taking bottle tests. So essentially, if he manages to do that right now, the game could be over before I have my first turn.
So we're going to back up to this orc, who actually would be in range of the down guy. You might as well shoot at his corpse.
Yeah.
Or soon-to-be corpse.
Yeah. Same modifier, 6 to hit.
Sustained fire first.
Oh, sustained fire, 2 shots. That's a hit.
So
And
let's do
the ammo check right away.
We're good.
So I want you to throw your extra attack as well.
That's true.
6 to hit. Another 6 to hit. Oh, jeez. 2 6. Another ammo check.
Well, actually, you gotta do the wound first on the first wound, because if he actually dies, then that next hit will actually hit the next model.
No, because he's not in range. That's why we're not worried.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we would still actually have to fire that second shot anyways, even if there's nothing in range.
So second ammo check.
Still good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And then 2 wounds on him.
It doesn't hurt to do it in the right order, though,
Yeah.
just because of that. But in this case, I knew that he was the only target
That's
that was in
correct.
range, so we could just do them all at once.
The guy up front now gets to skip the down guy and try to knock over the other one.
Same modifiers. Yeah, so say 1 shot, and he hits on a 6.
Give me that 6.
Oh my goodness, Dave! Oh, I can't believe that. Hold on. Initiative test to see if I fall. I fall!
Oh, no.
So when you fall, we look at how many inches he goes down. In this case, I know this is 6, and that's the strength that you get hit. And it counts as a close combat hit, which means it does have an armor modifier. Strength 4 is -1, Strength 5 is -2, Strength 6 is -3, so on and so forth. I'll let you roll it. 2 will injure him. He won't have any armor saves because -3 to a 4+.
Do you want to roll your own injury table?
Yeah, I'll roll my own injury because I want to see that 1. 3. No, he's down. That means no matter what happens of injury or not, I'm going to have to start taking break tests or bottle tests. Now, I do need to apologize. I did forget one rule. When he went down, I should have taken a break test
right.
for this guy right here. Now, in this case, you got him down, so we don't have to worry about it. But that is important.
But he could have...
Yeah, and when he does break, he's got to try to run out of line of sight. But he might have been out of range, but it was my mistake not to do it. So in this case, it would have probably benefited me. But we're just not going to worry about it this second. We'll try to remember next time. So now you got to see if the shoot actually hurt me. That was just a fall.
Well, we have an ammo chest.
Yeah, you can do that too.
We're still got ammo.
Your stroke, yeah, because it's 5+ ammo. Now see if you injured me on a 4+. You did. But I got my normal 4 up save against that one. I made it.
Okay. So now I got one guy left. I think I should have ran forward more. I didn't expect my shooting to do so well.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a lot of 6s. He's gonna go ahead and fire at the sniper, who is in full cover.
Yeah, and you have a 36-inch range?
I do.
So it's only 32-inch against
It's
10.
not heavy, so I get to move and shoot.
Yeah, so are you within 32 inches?
32. Within 32.
So hold on. That's, yeah, okay, never mind. You're fine, okay? So this guy has a sustained fire 2 rule, so he gets 2 D3 shots. Ah, 5. Now, because I'm in full cover, his 5+ becomes a 7+. Now, in order to get a 7+, you got to roll a 6+ and then a 4+. An 8+ is a 6+, 5+, a 9+ is a 6+, 6+, and a 10+ is impossible. If you're a fantasy player, this will be very familiar.
Very similar.
Yes. Now, the only target is a scout sniper, but we still have to roll these one at a time, because if he does go down from one of the shots, he'll actually be out of line of sight for the other ones.
Looking for 6s. Okay. So now it actually hits a 4+.
Yeah, you need to roll a 4+ now.
Not a problem.
Dude!
Not a problem.
Dude!
Okay.
So you got an ammo check first off.
First to the ammo check.
And
7.
yours, it's not any higher. It's either 5+ or 7+. I'll double check. That's a strength 5, so 3's to wound, -2 armor.
Oh
Plus
no.
6+ armor. Ah! Regardless, he's pinned, and so you won't be able to see him for your other shots. And now let's do an injury check. Dude, you're making this look overpowered.
I know, this is a lot of 6s.
5, so he's down.
Down.
Which means I won't be able to use his leadership of 9 for my bottle test. So now the other 4 shots, if he had other targets within 4 inches of that, he could fire at them. But since he doesn't, he still has to fire them in case they set off ammo
I'm
checks.
spraying into the air now to show off my ferocity. And no more
Of course you don't roll any 6s. Oh, we got a stray shot though.
Oh,
yeah!
Oh no!
If you roll a 1 to hit, you trace the line, and if there's any friendly models within half an inch of that, then if you roll another 1, then we randomly hit one of these guys with your weapon. And so I guess spraying it.
No, but there's another
there's a 6. Shut up. So I guess spraying a big shooter behind 3 youths, you can kind of see a bit of disadvantage. All those shots could end up killing a couple of your youths. But no, you just got super.
It was actually easier for me to hit them than it was to hit him.
Yeah. And that be your turn. I got 3 downed guys out of my 7. We played a couple times before this, and that didn't happen.
That did not happen. Orks did not do that at all.
And you know what? We're not going to redo this because this is accurate. This is how the game plays. If you think, well, that's dumb. The idea is that when you play the campaign, you play these fast-paced games, and you get to play a lot of them in one night.
Our practice games, my guys were just rolling off every ledge.
Yeah, they were purposely falling off of ledges. So let's go into my turn. So first off, because I've lost at least 25%, I have to take a route test. A bottle test. A bottle test.
More time.
Sorry, it's not more time. And I would normally use my sergeant's leadership of 9, but since he's down, I have to use somebody else's leadership of 8. I can choose to fail this if I want to and just have the game be lost, but I don't want to yet, mainly because this is not going to be a campaign, so there's no reason for me to want to lose the game automatically in a one-off. But in a campaign, I might say, you know what, screw this, he's just going to keep knocking me down, so I am out of here because, before I take major losses. But I am going to take the bottle test, leadership 8. We're good, so we continue. Space Marine with a shotgun. Oh, he's got a shotgun. What am I thinking? He's going to run. I was about to move him up to shoot, but he's got a very low range. So I'm going to run him 10 inches over to here.
They're faster than Orks.
Yes, they have a movement value of 5 rather than 4. This one is going to just move. Now, linear obstacles like this, if they're 1 inch or less in height, then you can just totally ignore them. If they're 1 to 2 inches, then you just double the movement to go over that. So this is like, what, a 1/4 inch? So that becomes half an inch of movement to move over it. So it's really not that hard. And I will run this Space Marine Scout as well. And I got one more Scout down here who will move out 5 inches. Shooting phase, I am going to have this Scout with a bolter fire at him. He'll have partial cover because of stuff in between, which means my 3+ will become a 4+.
And
then 5+ because he ran, that's right. Which is twice as easy as your 6s, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yay!
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Well, he's pinned.
Immediately he's pinned.
Now he can't help it if he fall.
Good. That was my plan all along. Strength 4, so 4 is to wound. That's a wound. And a bolter has a -1 armor save, so your 6+ becomes a impossible.
Yep.
So immediately he rolls in the injury table and is out of action! Oh, baby! That's all my shooting, because this guy no longer has any targets. Maybe I should have fired him first and then saved him for these guys. I don't even know if he could see them, though. He's got this thing in the way. But now at the end of my turn, there's a recovery phase. You have movement, shooting, assault, then recovery. And they haven't introduced rules for psychic stuff yet. Let's see. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. But let's figure out these guys. So I got to roll a die for each of them. We'll start with the scout on the bottom. And it's just an injury test. So 3, he stays down. The one at the top here rolls, he's down. And then my sniper sergeant, he is still down. Yeah. So I got to roll a 1 to make them pinned, or a 6 and they're out. Back to the Orks' turn. Now they've only lost 1 out of 10, so that's not a battle test.
What? Let's go get him. Just
bring it, man. Bring it.
Just
bring it.
He'll make
I'll show them what this is all about. Those
go.
Orks think that they're ahead. I'll just shoot 2
He'll
more.
stay there. Everybody over here is running.
Running.
So I can't quite make it down with the run, so we might as well just move 4.
Well, these things are designed that you can clip them in
Well,
there.
oh, that's true. I might as well do that then.
Yeah.
Because I want to run. He's not quite the bottom.
Well, then he's stick them in one of the
fit in
ledges. Yeah, watch, see?
Perfect.
See, look at that. It's like these things were designed by...
Uh-oh. We're going to keep running, though. This one's going to stop here. You know, it might as well move over, because ledge is a ledge, right? We're going to keep on running. And then we are going to not run.
Yeah. You mean your sniper big shooter?
My sniper big shooter. And over here, they're both going to run down.
That's right. Come on down.
We're coming for you.
Just put a run token out front here, and a run token just in the middle of these 3 right here, just to remind us.
On shooting, the only thing I can see is the down guy on the ledge with my big shooter on my spanner. So we're going to shoot at him.
Sustain fire? Now, he can always choose not to sustain fire, only fire once. But, yeah, why do that? So -1 for the partial cover, so you're looking at 6s. Thank you. Thank you. This seems...
Does that count?
Yeah, no, you knocked the other die. Nice try. Hey! Oh, straight shot! Straight shot! So we have a line like this, so this guy's within half an inch of it.
Yep.
Roll a 1. Come on, we gotta show them what happens!
Good.
That's it for the Orcs' turn. So immediately I have to do a bottle test again, because I still have at least 25% down or out. Leadership 8. That's game, people! I roll a 10.
No! I want to kill more!
You don't get the extra Promethium. You didn't get 3 of my guys out of action.
It's true.
Yeah. So essentially...
50-50, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. So basically, although... Yeah, I guess it's a mission, so it's hard to know exactly what the wording means. So essentially, if we were playing a campaign, then a few things would happen, but let's just detail a couple of them. One is that everybody who's down, not pinned, but down, we roll. On a 4+, they're fine. So like he's fine, then him, he's fine, and my scout sergeant, he's fine. If I had rolled a 1, 2, or 3, you actually roll on the serious injury table, which could possibly kill them, but more likely to do some damage to them.
Or you level up or get an upgrade too by getting damaged.
You can actually level up.
It's both, yeah.
Yeah, you roll basically an injury table. You roll, or the serious injury table. You roll a d6. If you roll a 6, you actually are fine, and you get a free upgrade because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's actually what it's called. And then at 4 or 5, you're fine. 2 or 3, there's some permanent injuries, and 1 has some permanent injuries as well. 1's frenzy, 1's hatred. Number 1, if you roll another 1, you roll another d6 on a 1, 2, or 3, then you're dead.
Whew.
And I don't remember what the 4, 5, 6 does. But yeah, then we would collect rewards of Promethium. We would upgrade our army lists, our kill teams, even me. Both of us would get access to the same number of points. But in this case, Steve would get D3 Promethium, and I would only get 1. And so that would be the difference there. So we could actually get the same amount of Promethium, because you didn't get because their one objective is if you get 3 of my guys out of action, you get a bonus Promethium. And in a normal campaign, according to the book, it's the first person to get 15 Promethium and then win a game is the winner. But you can spend the Promethium too, so there's this kind of choice: do I want to keep building up towards winning, or do I want to spend them so that I can make my kill team better? That's the hard choice. But that's essentially Armageddon. We didn't see everything. We didn't see Overwatch really used. We didn't see Flamers or any of that, but maybe we'll build our teams to have a couple of those things so we can actually show how those work. So we're going to make another one of these for sure. Right now, it's going to be in the MiniWarGaming Vault at the link in the video description below. Go and watch that. We're going to re-kit out a couple more 1,000-point lists. Actually, I'll bring in Astra Militarum this time against the Orks.
I will only punch him this time.
Okay, so Steve will not shoot me with his sniper use.
Orc shooting is broken.
Yeah, our first 2 games, you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Nothing. My guys are falling off.
But you know what?
Cool.
But just remember, look. I took 0 negative consequences.
Combat is very different. It will get you
Yeah, that's right. We didn't even show close combat. So yeah, we'll focus on trying to do more close combat in the next game. But remember, look at this. As much as he beat me, I took 0 negative consequences from it. You get a little positive for getting more Promethium, but maybe.
Somebody might level up.
Yeah, but nobody lost, and my guys get to level up. They all survive. Well, one guy gets to level up. So really, that's the whole point, is that the games are fast, And just because you're the one that loses doesn't mean that you had some serious injuries. You could win and get serious injuries. It's
true.
We're just blabbing on here. Click the link below. Go and watch the Vault Battle Report for Armageddon. Happy wargaming.